Hi. Greetings from the Great Sage. Before we start, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon and don't miss any contents. This is the light novel of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you haven't watched previous video, I will leave the link on the description box or you can click here. Let's start. This is Tensura Light Novel Volume 16. Tensura Light Novel. Volume 16. The End of the Game. Chapter 1. The Betrayal. Masayuki's Ultimate Skill. After giving Dino another order, Feldway remained hidden and observed Cornu's battle. Cornu was a reliable subordinate, despite his tendency to be overconfident. He was also a comrade who had received his name from Veldanava, and Feldway believed him to be very useful to him. However, Cornu had made a terrible mistake in the last invasion, losing a third of his forces. This was in spite of their overwhelming superiority in terms of strength against one of the insignificant other worlds. That was reason enough for Feldway to be disappointed. Cornu was also well aware of this, and this time, instead of using his usual style of playing with the enemy, he was desperately trying to finish the job. That was no fun for Feldway. The three Phantom Commanders, who should be overwhelmingly strong, should not be at the mercy of the weak. Even now, Cornu had missed an opponent he could have killed with a single blow. He was unaware that Masayuki had been replaced by an imposter and had fallen for the enemy's schemes. So furious that he was speechless, Feldway looked back and released a killing intent from his anger. He kept telling himself to calm down with his self-control until he barely managed to suppress his killing intent. Then, leaving Cornu alone, he moved to dispose of Masayuki. On the other hand, Masayuki, who was on the run, felt very upset. Every step felt heavy. He could not accept that he was the only one to escape. Of course, scary things were scary, but abandoning a friend was something even scarier. If anything happened to them, he would never be able to forgive himself for the rest of his life. Masayuki stopped in his tracks and looked back. He could see his companions fighting hard in the distance. Minutes blocked the enemy's movements, the vampires used their immortality as bait, and Calgurio and Venom attacked whenever they saw an opening. A special mention should be made of Jiwoo's maneuvering, as she was able to position herself well to block Cornu's massive destructive attacks. For a makeshift team, they really worked well together. However, if any one of them went missing, this team would fall apart. Hey, Masayuki. Bernie, I'm going back. I was always afraid to talk about my true feelings because I didn't want my true identity to be exposed, but I really wanted to become better friends with everyone. I may be a coward, but I don't want to be a scumbag, you know. Masayuki spoke his mind. At that moment, the voice of the world sounded in his head. Acknowledgement of the hero's courage not to run. This satisfies the three conditions and releases the hidden power of the unique skill chosen one. Do you wish to activate it? Yes or no? Huh? Masayuki was confused. He was worried that he'd done something wrong again, but was relieved to find out that wasn't the case. He wasn't interested in any hidden powers, but it was too late anyway, so he decided to approve it for now. Confirmed, now adding a new power to the unique skill chosen once successful. From now on, Champion's Guide will always be in effect. A difficult explanation echoed in Masayuki's brain. Immersed in that nostalgic feeling, Masayuki began to understand his own skill. There was Champion's Aura to intimidate his opponents, Champion Blessing to make him super lucky, Champion's Charisma to give courage to his comrades, and Champion's Action whose effects were unclear but had positive results, nonetheless. Those were Masayuki's current powers. The addition of Champion's Guide seemed to be a power that could make him a heroic banner. Guiding the souls of the dead. I become a vessel? What the hell is that? If it's premised on the death of a companion, then I don't need this kind of skill. Another useless skill, Masayuki thought to himself. He hadn't expected much from it though, so he wasn't too disappointed. As long as things didn't get worse, that was enough for him. Masayuki, you. So, Bernie, let's get back to the others. Masayuki went back to the main topic. He was oblivious about his hidden powers. Okay. If you say that much, then I'll just go along with what you want. Bernie scratched his head in resignation. The two smiled at each other and turned to go back to the others, and that's when things took a major turn. Feldway made his move. He did not care about Bernie, but he knew he would get in the way if he wanted to take Masayuki. Bernie had let his guard down and could be slaughtered with a single blow. No, it wouldn't matter if Bernie was aware or not, because to Feldway, Bernie was nothing but a speck of dust. Without disturbing the wind, or showing even a hint of his presence, Feldway drew his sword and was about to cut off Bernie's head. However, what sounded was a clear resonating tone. It was the sound of a sword clashing with another. Who is in my way? Who are you? His surprise was gone in an instant as Feldway asked who it was. The answer was given by a young masked girl. "I am Cornu. I'm a hero." Feldway made his move. He did not care about Bernie, but he knew he would get in the way if he wanted to take Masayuki. Seeing Masayuki and Bernie running back, Venom really wanted to sigh up at the sky. Not that he had anything to complain about. He had sensed a terrifying presence swelling in the direction Masayuki had fled and was beginning to despair that he had failed in his mission. "I'm so relieved that you're okay." "Haha, it's too early to say that, since we still have enemies." "That's right." Venom admitted as much. "Cornu is strong. Despite the clear advantage we have in the labyrinth, he is overwhelming, not to mention winning, and now I don't even know if I can survive." But even so, as soon as he saw Masayuki's face, he felt relieved for some unknown reason. An inexplicable surge of confidence welled up within him, making feel as if there was always a way. Minutes and Calgurio seemed to feel the same way, and their faces looked better than before. "Kukuku, I know this is a bad time, but I'm having fun." "I agree with you. Truly, it's as if I am sharing the battlefield with His Majesty." The Imperial soldiers laughed. Even the vampires, who should have had nothing to do with it, seemed to be getting excited about the fight. Meanwhile, Cornu was in a state of confusion. Just as he was about to attack, another Masayuki had appeared. Cornu wondered if he had failed to grasp his location, but upon a second glance, he found that there were indeed two Masayukis. That meant that one of them was an imposter. Needless to say, one of them was Jiwoo in disguise, and the other one was the real Masayuki. "How dare you underestimate me? You're just a bunch of stubborn worms." Even though he was furious, Cornu had no way to tell which one was the real one. His senses told him that they were equal in strength and that both were insignificant. That was why it was even more troublesome. If Cornu got serious, both could be involved and get killed. If that was the case, then there was no telling where they would escape to. Therefore, Cornu knew that he would have to tighten his nerves even more to avoid a wrong-handed kill. And that's when a helping hand appeared. "Cornu Dono, is it? My name is Serial. I come at the command of Michael-sama." An unfamiliar girl, who flew in at such a high speed that his eyes couldn't keep up, offered to assist him herself. Cornu did not doubt her words. The girl who called herself Serial had a hint of Michael about her, just as she had said. "That would help. You should aim for the Masayuki on the right. Do not kill him, just take him alive." Cornu had picked one at random, and fortunately or unfortunately, his choice was the real one. "Understood." Serial nodded and turned her gaze to Masayuki. Masayuki sensed this and grew impatient. Their eyes met. Serial. That girl seemed to call herself Chrono before, but I have no idea how she got turned to the enemy's side in such a short time." "I mean." Masayuki was confused and desperate, but Chrono's beauty too stunning for him to feel any fear. Or rather, he had no time to feel it. "What's going on? This girl is super cute." Masayuki was so shocked that he forgot that he was in the middle of a battle. If he had to describe her in one description, that's it. Saying she was a transcendently beautiful girl would be more appropriate. Masayuki came to the same conclusion as a certain blonde-haired demon lord. "Don't wear a mask in the first place." Masayuki even started complaining about such pointless little things. However, there was hope lurking behind those trivial thoughts. Serial's hand went to her sword and Masayuki was prepared to die. Perhaps this was the reason that a thought came rising up within him like a magic lantern. "She's really a beautiful girl, isn't she? She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life." As soon as that thought bubbled up, Masayuki felt a vicious chill for some reason. His survival instincts were screaming at him, telling him that he shouldn't think any further. So he decided to trust those instincts. Or not second place. That's right, the second most beautiful. After all, the most beautiful is still. What came to his mind at the time was the blue-haired beauty he had last seen in his original world. Yes, that's her. The kind and gentle type, and so mature and sexy, a perfect score. Even in the face of death, Masayuki's fantasies were unstoppable. However, that was the right decision. Confirmed. The champion's true love has been established. The fourth hidden condition has been fulfilled. The unique skill chosen one has evolved into the ultimate skill king of heroes. Huh? Masayuki was stunned. Rather than calling it love, it was more of an annoyance. Why was it being glorified as love? However, he felt too embarrassed to complain about it. But before that, why did I get an ultimate skill without even doing anything? I have to earn up to it. Masayuki shouted in his mind. It was too much. Masayuki even wanted to question the voice of the world. However, even complaining about the results would not change anything. Moreover, even if he received an ultimate skill that he did not know how to use, it was still impossible to defeat Serial in front of him. It's an amazing power, but it's too late now. Well, I did my best, so I might as well go out in style. Thinking this, Masayuki gave a refreshing smile. The effect was tremendous. protect his majesty. The other soldiers who had previously been keeping at a distance because they were in the way began to launch suicide attacks without any regard for their own lives. This was the effect on those further away, so the change of those close by was even more dramatic. Power is welling up. I feel as if I can't lose. Shouting loudly, Kalgurio slashed at Cornu. Kalgurio had been on the defensive up until now, but his sudden desperate attack scared Cornu, if only for a moment. Minutes was not to be outdone. Listen up, Imperial soldiers. Let His Majesty the Emperor give witness to our bravery. While shouting these words to inspire the soldiers, he himself did not take his eyes off of Serial, constantly applying pressure with his oppressor. Normally, his unique skill would not work against an ultimate skill. However, this time, the attack succeeded in forcing Serial to retreat, though only slightly. The vampires were also very active. This is incredible. I'm feeling great right now, as if I can do anything. Someone was laughing while forcing an attack, even though the lower half of his body had been blown off by his recklessness. Take this. Eat my energy cannon with all your strength. People began repeatedly dying and resurrecting over and over again. Ha. This is so much fun. Someone who specialized in regeneration began protecting Sodders from stray bullets without giving any thoughts about the consequences. The crowd had become beyond fierce and were launching an even fiercer onslaught of attacks than before. How were they able to do so? It was, of course, all thanks to Masayuki's skill. Unlike his previous unique level skill, his new ultimate skill King of Heroes could provide the minimum protection needed to fight against ultimate skills. Only those with an existence value of at least 100,000 could withstand the ability, however those who did not have such a value still received a blessing of luck. Anyone who was a follower of Masayuki would be under his protection. A true balance breaker. It was an uncanny power that could turn the tides of battle simply by having him on the battlefield. If Masayuki had not seen Chloe Aubert's true face, then he never would have awakened the ultimate skill. One only had to think about it that way to understand what a major faux pas Feldway had committed. In any case, the battle fell into a temporary stalemate, barely maintaining its equilibrium for more than 10 minutes. Of course, it was impossible to defeat the duo of Cornu and Serial. However, the winner had already been decided. The moment Masayuki had acquired the ultimate skill King of Heroes, the path ahead was clear. And now, thanks to the warriors who bought their time, the moment had come. Velgrind had vanished from this world. At the same time, the gears of fate began to shift. That's all for today. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please check my other YouTube videos. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification icon, and don't miss any updates.